A business consultant was stuck at $180,000 annual revenue, working 60-plus hours per week, constantly competing on price with other consultants. Then he implemented one strategic pricing change that boosted his profits by 30% in just 6 months, without working a single extra hour. The game changer. He didn't raise his rates. He didn't find new clients. He didn't work harder. Instead, he restructured how he packaged and presented his services using a strategic tiered pricing model that transformed his entire business. Let's talk about how the game changed. Break down these strategies so you can apply them to your business. The exact tiered pricing strategy this consultant used to go from competing on price to commanding premium fees, and how this single change increased his annual profit by $45,000 while working fewer hours and serving happier clients. Before the change, this consultant's day looked the same as a lot of service owners I talked to. Long hours, too many client fights about price, and constant anxiety that one lost proposal would wreck the month. You recognize this, you price by the clock, and hope volume saves you. It doesn't. Charging $150 an hour felt fair on paper. In practice, it became a prison. He was constantly explaining himself, fielding the "can you do it for less?" and the "why is this so expensive?" questions. That energy drains you faster than the work ever will. He was buried in 50 to 60-hour weeks just to try to hit targets, and every new lead threatened to be a price negotiation instead of a business conversation. On top of that, he offered the same package to everyone. One size fits all sounded efficient until it stopped bringing deals. For some prospects, the offer was way too much, bloated and expensive. For others, it was too little, vague and underwhelming. The outcome? Confused buyers, lost deals, and no natural way to grow account value over time. There was no obvious next step for clients who wanted more. If they like you, they either stayed stuck or they left when they outgrew you. Then there was the communication problem. He tried to sell time instead of results. Conversations centered on how many hours instead of what changes. Prospects fixated on inputs, hours, meetings, line items, not on actual outcomes like revenue lift or reduced churn. That made discounting the default response. Every negotiation pulled margin away and left him selling his time cheaper than his expertise deserved. Here's the cold math that makes it real. Look, $150 an hour, 50 billable hours a week. That's $7,500 a week. Multiply that by 48 working weeks, and the top line number is $360,000. Sounds decent, right? But that's theoretical top-line revenue before expenses, before taxes, and before the unbilled admin time, business development, and sleep you gave up. After the real costs and non-billable hours, his take-home landed around $180,000, roughly what a senior employee might make, but with no benefits, no paid vacation, no steady paycheck, and all the risk on him. So there he was, exhausted, defending price, watching revenue cap out because his business was limited by how many billable hours he could sell. That's the real starting line for most service businesses, working hard but not seeing the upside of owning a business. This is the part people skip because it looks simple on paper, but simple is powerful. He stopped selling hours and started selling outcomes. That's the pivot. The first order of business was knowing who he was selling to. Not by industry, but by need and budget. He built 3 client segments and matched a package to each one. Segment 1, growth stage startups. These teams have smaller budgets. Think $5,000 to $15,000, and they want a foundation, strategy, quick wins, a plan they can execute in 3 to 6 months. Decisions are fast. The founder signs off. You give them structure, clarity, and a 90-day action plan. Segment 2, established SMBs. Budgets sit in the $15,000 to $40,000 range. These clients want optimization and scale. Timelines stretch to 6 to 12 months. Decisions are team-based and numbers-driven. They want proven systems that produce ROI. Segment 3, mid-market companies. Big budgets, $40,000 to $100K plus. They need transformation, multi-stakeholder buy-in, and a year or more to implement change. These are committee decisions and executive-level outcomes. With those segments clear, he built 3 clean tiers: essential, growth, and transform. No confusion, no 17 add-ons. 3 choices that map to 3 buyer types. Tier 1, Essential Strategy Package, priced at $12,500. This is the foundations play, a business strategy audit, a 1-day strategic workshop, a 90-day action plan, 3 months of monthly check-ins and email support. Time investment, about 40 hours across 3 months. Effective hourly rate, $312.50. That's not an accident. It's a positioning move. Tier 2, Growth Acceleration Package, priced at $28,500. It includes everything in Essential, plus competitive analysis, revenue optimization, ops assessments, leadership sessions, bi-weekly implementation calls for 6 months, priority support and quarterly reviews. Time, roughly 85 hours over 6 months. Effective hourly rate, $335.29. This is the bread and butter tier he wanted most clients in. Tier 3, Transform and Scale Package, priced at $65,000. Full transformation, org assessment, multi-year roadmaps, change management, executive coaching, monthly on-site sessions for a year, unlimited strategic support and board-ready presentations. Time, about 180 hours across 12 months. Effective hourly rate, $361.11. This is the premium anchor, the tier that makes the middle look reasonable and the entry tier look like a low-risk test. Listen, those effective hourly rates matter because they show you the math without selling hours. You're selling outcomes and access, but you can still understand unit economics. That's what we call productized pricing. The service feels bespoke but delivers predictable margins. How he positioned each tier out loud. Short, copyable lines. For teams who need the playbook, start with Essential. Fast clarity in 90 days. For owners who want predictable scale, Growth is where we partner monthly and drive measurable lift. For executives who need a full transformation, Transform and Scale hands you the roadmap and the team to execute. 2 structural moves made this model sticky. 1. Every tier has a clear time horizon and a measurable outcome. No more, we'll see. 2. Each package is designed to naturally upgrade. Foundations graduates into Growth. Growth graduates into Transform, giving him a built-in lifetime value engine. Mapping clients to segments is simple. Ask budget range and outcome. If they say under $15,000 and want a roadmap, Essential. If they want revenue lift and a 6-month partnership, Growth. If they need enterprise change and executive alignment, Transform. Stop being vague, put each prospect in a bucket and move the conversation to impact. Rollout mechanics. How he actually made the switch without chaos? Update the one-pager, publish the new menu on the site, and run a transition offer for existing clients. A 30-day foundation sprint or a grandfathered rate window. Pilot 3 clients on Growth to test delivery cadence and refine templates. Track the KPIs and publish 2 short case studies by month 3. Operational hacks that protected margins. Productize repeatable deliverables, move discovery into paid entry work so onboarding isn't free. Limit billable days, and standardize delivery templates. Those changes cut delivery time while increasing perceived value. What to watch to know it's working? Average revenue per client should climb as clients move to Growth. Conversion from entry to core inside 90 days. Margin per package, churn rates, and utilization. If utilization falls but profit rises, you're winning. This is the point where packaging replaces hustling. He didn't invent new services. He simply made choices. Who he would serve, how he would deliver, and what outcomes he would guarantee. That structure let him command better prices without being a price competitor. It aligned his time with the highest leverage work. Now, do this. Build a one-pager with these 3 tiers today. Put the prices and deliverables side by side. Run 3 conversations this week using those 3 position statements. Measure who wants to upgrade. If you execute with discipline, this is the lever that turns time into profit and clients into predictable revenue engines. Don't hide these differences in vague language. Side by side, bullet for bullet. The client must immediately see what else they get and why it costs more. Risk reduction is the unsung hero. Longer engagements in higher tiers drop client acquisition cost, improve onboarding, and make revenue predictable. When a client signs a 6 to 12 month package, you don't just get paid. You get runway to prove results. Predictability equals less stress, better planning, and referral-ready outcomes. Now, the results. Let the numbers speak. Before tiered pricing, average project value was $8,750, about 18 to 20 clients a year, $180,000 revenue, 25% of time spent on sales, and roughly $63,000 profit, approximately 35% margin. After tiered pricing, average project value jumped to a weighted $23,400. Clients dropped to 12 to 14 per year. Revenue climbed to $280,800. Time on sales fell to approximately 15%, and profit rose to $117,936, approximately 42% margin. That means revenue increased about 56%, average project value surged roughly 167%, client load dropped by 25%, sales time fell around 40%, and profit dollars went from $63,000 to $117,936, a roughly 87% increase in profit dollars. The margin moved up, the work got cleaner, and the business stopped being hostage to billable hours. Why this works? The strategic advantages, plain and simple. You stop competing on price. Conversations shift from how much per hour to which level of transformation do you want. That changes the entire sales dynamic. Perceived value rises because deliverables, timelines, and outcomes are spelled out. Fixed pricing removes sticker shock and negotiating tentacles. You qualify leads for free. Budget-conscious buyers self-select into Tier 1. Growth-minded clients find Tier 2. Transformation buyers choose Tier 3. Price shoppers get filtered out automatically. Revenue becomes predictable. Multi-month engagements create cash flow certainty and easier renewals. Overhead disappears. Standard packages cut proposal time, scope creep, and admin work. Less customization, more margin. Here's the kicker. This isn't rocket science. It's packaging psychology plus simple math plus disciplined execution. You build clear choices, you anchor them well, you reduce risk, and the market pays for certainty and results. Up next, we'll walk through how to implement this strategy step by step. This is the blueprint, not theory, not hype. The exact phased playbook he used to move from chaos to clarity. I'll walk you through months 1 through 6 so you can see how the work actually gets done, who does what, and why clients decide to pay more. Month 1, market research and positioning. He started by mining reality, the last 24 months of projects. Every client, every scope, every price. He mapped patterns. Where did wins happen? Where did deals stall? Then he drew 3 clean buckets based on budget and outcomes. That's the secret. Stop guessing and let your historic wins tell you who to chase. Next, he scanned the market. That meant studying competitors, not to copy them, but to find gaps. Where consultants delivered a la carte chaos, he could deliver structured certainty. He looked for underserved segments and positioned his tiers to lock those gaps down. By month's end, he knew the right price points. Who would buy each tier and why? Month 2, package development. He cataloged every service he offered and grouped them by complexity and impact. Audit, strategy sprint, implementation sprint, executive sync. He turned services into modules, gave each module a time budget and a repeatable template, and stitched them into 3 logically progressive packages. Pricing wasn't cost plus, it was value-based. He estimated the client ROI potential for each tier and priced against that upside. The rule he used, roughly a 2.5 times multiplier between consecutive tiers, so each jump felt justified. He validated the math against margins. If the core tier couldn't sustain a healthy margin after efficiencies, he either improved the deliverable or raised the price. The point? Price off client value, not your calendar. Month 3, marketing and positioning. He redesigned the website to stop being a resume and start being a menu. Dedicated pages for each tier, side-by-side comparison charts, testimonial blurbs tied to specific packages, and a single clear CTA. Pick a package or book a 15-minute fit call. The copy led with outcomes, not features. Sales got an overhaul. The team, or he, if you're solo, was trained to lead with packages, not hourly rates. Qualification became a simple script. Budget range, desired outcome, who signs off. Proposal templates were standardized. Same structure, different names. And upgrade frameworks were scripted so every quarterly review could be a revenue conversation, not a scramble. Months 4 to 6, launch and optimization. Start small. A soft launch with 3 existing clients willing to migrate. Use them as pilots to prove delivery cadence and gather feedback. Document every process so delivery becomes repeatable. Track the early metrics, onboarding time, margin per deliverable, client satisfaction at 30 days, and iterate fast. Then, full market launch. Announce to the whole list. Update LinkedIn. Content pieces that explain the tiers with real micro case studies and push the one-pager across all channels. Track conversion rates and average deal sizes closely and optimize. This is not one and done. It's continuous refinement. Now let's talk psychology. Why clients actually moved up. The anchoring effect did the heavy lifting. Listing the Transform package first made growth look like the smart, dominant choice. When the 65,000 option sits beside 28,500, suddenly the middle tier is the rational play. That's not manipulation. It's framing the decision, so value is obvious. The good, better, best architecture is deliberate. 3 options create an environment where people can compare quickly. Tier 1 equals safe test. Tier 2 equals the operational sweet spot. Tier 3 equals a transformative partnership. Limit choices and you kill analysis paralysis. Humans pick when the menu is obvious. Longer engagements reduced acquisition cost and increased predictability. When clients sign a 6 to 12-month package, onboarding amortizes, success compounds, and renewal conversations become natural. That's how you move from transactional to relational revenue. Operationally, a few practical rules kept margins protected. Productize repeatable work. Move discovery into a paid entry product. Require upfront deposits and make discounts an exception that requires sign-off. Automate proposals and use templates so sales time falls, not rises. Finally, the timeline is realistic because it's staged. Month 1, research and price discovery. Month 2, productize and price. Month 3, position and prepare. Months 4 to 6, pilot, refine, and scale. Follow the sequence, measure loudly, and iterate quickly. The bottom line, one simple strategy can completely flip the script on your business. This consultant didn't work more hours, didn't chase more clients, and didn't add complexity. He just shifted how he priced, and the results were transformational. Financially, he unlocked a 30% jump in profit. That's over 45 grand in pure gain without lifting extra weight. Revenue up 56%. Average project value up 167%. And because his cash flow became predictable, stress went down while stability went way up. Operationally, things got smoother. 25% fewer clients to manage, 40% less time wasted on sales calls, less admin work eating up the day. And suddenly, he's working less while living more. Strategically, he elevated everything. His positioning shifted into premium territory. Client relationships deepened because they understood the value clearly. His brand stood out against the competition, and the entire model became scalable. Here's the key insight. It was never about charging more per hour. It was about packaging value in a way clients could see, compare, and confidently invest in, whether they needed entry-level support or the full premium solution. And that's your opportunity. Every single service business can benefit from tiered pricing. The real question isn't, will it work for me? The question is, how much profit are you leaving on the table by not doing it? If this opened your eyes, drop a comment below and tell me what your current pricing looks like. And don't forget to hit subscribe because we've got more growth-driven business strategies coming your way.